Since Greenhill loves calling itself realistic, I decided to put that to the test. Instead of assuming I know how to craft and use every weapon, which I don't, I can only use these babies right here. Are you still stuck crafting weapons? Does survival not feel like a challenge? No problem. With our new product, the Fists 500, we will make your life hell again. Equipped with infinite uses, a range so small it makes my penis look big, and hitboxes so questionable I don't even know if I threw the punch in the first place. But not only that, if you call right now, you will also get a free blowgun to make sure that you not only fist but also blow every enemy that you come across. Side effects include some Jaguar Mole, chronic malaria deficiency, uncontrollable urge, acute drug-related trauma, irreversible commitment to bad decisions. Whoa, what was that? Anyway, as I was saying, today we're throwing every weapon in the trash. So it's just me, my Fists 500, and this weird blowpipe I found in the box. Just like every run, we begin by harvesting 2 big stones.
I'm here.
Are they useful? No. We do it for good fortune, right before skipping the tutorial.
What the hell is going on there?
Maybe we should have played the tutorial though, because now we don't know how to craft any weapon. Then we proceed grabbing a few stones to craft a stone blade. No matter the run, without a tool we cannot harvest Jake's favorite drug, the Psychotria, which is mandatory for finishing the game. I also like to call it Atlantis because this thing might as well be invisible. Recognizable by appearance, which is exactly like any other little bush. The only thing making it stand out are very subtle red berries on the top. In total we're going to need 4 of them, but right now I'm more focused on approaching the first ritual site at 4626 for a first pit stop. Now, a lot of people promise that the Psychotria are always really close to a ritual site, but I have been to a few ritual sites in my life, and let me tell you, usually I end up having more luck around 50 meters away. This time around, however, the Psychotria was waiting to shake my hand on arrival at the ritual site. Approaching the ritual, I got hit with the realization that there's no Jaguar around this time either. What a lucky run! After the map gives me a deep massage, we thank it for its service and make our way to collect the last sticks needed for the ritual. I noticed that I cannot light a fire without an amber, so we quickly get searching for a dry leaf. On the way I find a few crabs and want to show them how good I can fight, but they seem rather uninterested. Having made the fire, it's time for Jake's second and third favorite activities, taking drugs and hunting little boys.
What?
Right as I feel myself catching up, the boy decided to cheat and no-clip through a rock, so I pulled a Harry Potter and ran straight into the rock as well. Which didn't take me to Hogwarts, but instead to the Forest of Nothingness. Hearing Mia's voice randomly speak to us, we are arguably confused.
They're extremely weary. They have to be. Civilization is killing them.
But we find another map, this time without the massage. Mia talks about wanting to die or something.
Better if I just died back then.
While trying to touch her, she suddenly disappears. And can we take a second to appreciate the haircut of the natives? God damn, my homies got them fades.
Received a gift from the jungle.
Mia talks about being part of the pact, some random Spanish words, and disappears, leaving behind nothing but a bag of disaster. Okay, I guess. Moving on. Making our way back to the rock, which grew legs and ran away while we were high. I tell her that I fell and,
Falling?
like every good husband, I decide to lie about where I am and give her some unrelated information just to keep it vague.
Do you know where you are?
Found a map.
Next stop, illegal gold mine. On the way there, I'm making a pit stop at the drug lab to find some painkiller. Mia takes revenge for the vague information earlier and...
I'm afraid of what you might see. Let's leave the past behind.
We get so mad, we decide to commit a war crime to a frog. After crafting a bamboo blowpipe, I get the recipe I needed. The frog scratcher. Now I just got to yoink one of those and put them on there. Yeah, that's good. Having 3 bamboo sticks and 3 fiber, I craft up 15 dots to prepare ourselves for the challenges to come. After hitting the first peccary named Seth, I absolutely go to town and power level my Fists 500 until I hear his brother John sneak up on me from behind. Making sure that John gets what Seth got, a third member of the family comes sneaking up, and it's a jaguar? That's one odd family tree. The man that we are, we don't discriminate women and instead tank her face on, which makes her leave us like a teenage girl before she starts off running away. Feisty little one. And about a minute later I bleed out because I didn't find any Molinaria. Now we have the first death of the run. Thankfully it's no problem since we saved at the drug lab, so I instantly start running towards the gold mine again and find a taper, which will be my punching bag this time, elevating my fisting skill to 31. Time to make some bone armor. A few meters further I run into an anteater and you know the rules. Struck by curiosity I test if they also get stunned by the blow darts, and surprised they do. This one is off limits though, as he's protected by ants. Making my way back to the gold mine I find 2 more anteaters. The first one goes down really quickly, no problem, but the second one gives me a really mean look suddenly, so I just rather back off. I do, however, take the bones of the first one, making sure that I can get the full set of bone armor. I continue on my path and find a coconut. Oh my god, a coconut! After being possessed by an evil spirit and dropping it twice, I return to my path, only to find the most elusive armadillo. Unfortunately for him, I'm the best hunter ever, so I decide to use it for some fist training. Since I have returned to my belief, I am being rewarded with the generous gift of Molinaria and a worthy contestant, Stefano. Following a heated exchange with him about women's rights, we decide to end on a draw, coming to the conclusion that periods are the real enemy. Keeping my luck of being away from the ritual site, I stumble upon another Psychotria at about 4418 and more importantly Stefano. Now it's showtime. I tell him how much women's rights mean to me and he cowers in defeat, allowing me to really show to him just how much women mean. Accepting his defeat and rewarding me with his own bones. We craft the bone armor pieces necessary to replace the ones that Stefano broke. Remembering that nothing runs smooth without oil, we make a quick pit stop at 4417, also known as the overthrown jeep, to bless the future of the run. Finally reaching the gold mine, we call Mia for some jokes.
You're not gonna believe what I just found.
A city made of gold.
Then realize that passing out is impossible while on the phone. So if you're ever real tired, just call your friends or family or yourself, I guess. At the gold mine, we find yet another Psychotria, which for now will have to wait. Want to know what also has to wait? This snake that just bit me, because I got a few parasites and worms and not a lot of sanity left to spare. Finding some maggots I instantly put them to good use to heal my leg wound. However, my sanity keeps dropping and is already at the halfway mark. Which is pretty bad, considering that this will make me confront the demon of bad shopping decisions. Slowly approaching the ritual site, I start collecting some sticks to ensure that I'm going to have enough once I do actually arrive. Fortunately for us, the maggots do their job and the leg is not infected anymore. However, we still got a wound, but that's not a problem. We go towards the ritual site. Being greeted by my own imagination, I show him what I trained those fists for. Before I make myself through the transition cave. Taking a quick nap on the floor, now equipped with 3 worms and 0 sanity, I realized that I took a wrong turn and, at least right now, don't want to fight those guys behind that rock there. Finally arriving at the ritual site, there isn't much left to do. Climb the rope, build the fire, drink the ayahuasca. As Mia talks about how she should have died again, we're just as confused as Jake is when the wall suddenly appears behind us.
What happened?
What drove us?
While we play around with the camera smoothing, Mia tells us that she's the only reason we're in this shitty situation.
If not
Yeah,
for
duh.
me,
But
you
look at this camera.
go back to the jungle.
And another time where we touch Mia and she just disappears. Oh boy, I sure hope that isn't going to become a reoccurring trend. Waking up from the trip, we're basically still super high, so we just take a second to relocate. Approaching the logs of, oh, I hope I'm not in green hell difficulty, we randomly spot 2 different caveman lizards, and our ADHD distracts us for a few seconds here. Thankfully I only waste 2 different darts before I get back on track. Now, if you played up to this point in story mode before, you already know what's coming. The crocodile log. Sadly for the run, this is the crocodile of no hitbox. Maybe it has one, it probably has one, it most definitely has one, but after failing to connect all 3 of my fisting attempts, watching my armor break and getting a laceration, I decided to just pick whatever I have and throw it at the fucking crocodile before I die. Now you could call this cheating if you wanted to. I wouldn't blame you. I mean, I would, but I personally would call this realistic decision making. Overthrown with guilt, I considered equipping a lot of rocks and then jumping into the nearby river. However, I have to keep going. For all the anteaters we killed, and most importantly, for Stefano. He never stood a chance. I know it never really seemed like a lot, but he was my world. So I can't give up. I have to keep going. I have to keep fighting. If not for me, if not for you, then for Stefano. Having made our way to the airstrip, we quickly grab and fix the cable with our hands, proving that tension does not even affect us. Right before we get into a tense situation on the radio. And it might just be me, but this guy seems to know me.
That Jake Higgins?
He doesn't seem super trustworthy. He doesn't seem to like us either. I think this is a setup.
Are you alone?
He thinks he should ghost me, and he does that. So I think I should get really, really mad. Brr! Bam, 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 bam. And then this super invisible key falls down from the silver box, so I just decide to call Mia, like any rational man would do. The fact I wasn't wearing my headset on this part almost killed me, because you maybe noticed, but there's a cat attacking us. The moment I looked at the map, I remembered the first map that gave us such a good massage though, and instantly came back to my senses, quickly turning around to fight the cat, which at this point had bugged out completely. The absolute Sigma Alpha Giga J that we are, we punch it, and punch it, and punch it until it dies. Oh yeah, and remember the Molinaria that we found a few minutes ago? Yeah, we used that for bandages, cause else we would have died. Again. After removing those pesky worms, I think now is a good time to sleep though. Let's take a quick nap. What a beautiful afternoon. I woke up at what, 7 PM? What a realistic game. Anyway, I carefully scout for the good rocks to proceed into the water cave, making sure I only take the utmost safest ways to get there.
Damn it!
Considering the way the developers intended me to go, I think I did a pretty good job at staying safe while getting there fast. Arriving at the bottom of the cave, I found a big pool of water and diving gear. I didn't really know what I would find down there, but I did know that it would be really risky to go into the water. You have infinite breath. But all the anxiety from this confined space really paid off when I finally got to surface and see this beautiful sunset. However, I'm a vampire, so I actually hate the fucking sun. So let's get down to the muddy area, the area where there isn't as much sun. Arriving at the muddy area, I do have to be really careful because, well, if we remember, we don't have a lot of sanity, so there's like a good chance that we're gonna attack ourselves. Also, the last time we played it was super late, so we went to bed. Which then saved at this exact spot. Which will be good. Now that we finally arrive at the third ritual site, there isn't much left to do. Build a fire, light the fire, drink the drugs. Oh yeah, and of course we're missing another dry leaf. Because we never have dry leaves. Never. Drinking the third ayahuasca, the only thing that's on my mind is that somebody needs to check the drugs. Like, maybe we aren't losing our mind because of the jungle or because of our stupid wife. Maybe we're losing our mind because of the fucking drugs. Maybe it's the drugs. We arrive at a construction site and we get shot. Then we find out that somebody made us a surprise and put a lot of black bags everywhere and some sign, but we can't read that because, like, no. So Mia asks if we think she was worth it.
You think I was worth it?
And then we trip and fall into the bags. Next thing on our to-do list, awakening in a cave next to our tour guide. Okay, fancy. Well, anyway, he's not gonna need his grappling hook gun anymore, so... I mean, I guess I can take it. He sold his skin, he's a skeleton now. He's not gonna fight me for it. What, over his dead body? Bit too late for that, buddy. Now it's time to actually use that gun. And, more importantly, to also find another crocodile on the way. Aren't they the cutest? Man, I wish I could fist them just like every other animal in this game. After we ascended a few cliffs, we realized that we got hit by 6 venom stacks compared to the usual 2, so we're really confused, only to find out that there's two wandering spiders in the exact same spot. What the fuck? Okay, buddy, whatever sort of diabolical matrix kind of glitch happened here. Considering we're under a little bit of time pressure, we take the fastest way down the hill, make it back to our old camp to find a bunch of nothing before we move on to the last and final pit stop, drug trip number 4. In and out in just 10 seconds. Wow. Now I really start missing Mia. I heard the lethal amount of ayahuasca is 4, but luckily we're here to debunk that theory. Now, the way to the ritual site is pretty long. Surely that isn't gonna bite us in the ass. So I'm just gonna spare you a bit of the walk. Check out this sick movement though. Arriving at the ritual site and feeling like all this shit was way too easy, we go up to another anteater for some content and die. I wish I was joking, but unfortunately I'm not. Also, this guy just did 2 quick punches in a row. Like, what? Since when did I do
know
that?
what that is.
Considering I played this game before, hearing the I know what that is sound like absolutely tripped me out, bro. I just knew I'm in a fucked position. And that I probably have to replay the entire cutscene. Lo and behold, I'm in front of the 3rd ayahuasca site. Without any sanity and with the hallucinations already ganging up on me. Now that's gonna be fun. And the first death to the natives. And another death. This time around there are no hallucinations. Thank God. So we can safely make our way towards the ritual site, and to be fair, I'd like to take this moment to talk about those hallucinations. I personally think the sanity system is really cool in theory, as it showcases how you can go mad from eating raw meat, being poisoned, or just being uncomfortable. All this stress literally makes you insane, and this on top of being alone in a vast jungle like this one. Of course, this system is not perfect, but it is damn near close. And if you do happen to know any other games with such a sophisticated sanity system, please feel free to tell me in the comments. I would love to check them out. And of course, we missed the dry leaf again. As you can hear and see in the video, I make a new friend called Croc, which to be fair is more like a Pokemon than an actual pet animal, but he's cute. So I take him just as far as the game allows me to. Not as far as I would like to though. Because I draw the line at the end of the world. The Croc apparently draws the line at at a fucking tree, man. Just climb it, or jump, or whatever. Don't leave me. I'm in this jungle too. Considering that Croc gave us a really mean laceration, we're slowly bleeding out, so every second counts. I have to make haste to find a molly or the ritual site if I want to stay alive. And of course, not only are we in deep shit, but we get deeper into the shit too, as this tiny little yump gives us a little scratch on our leg, making sure that if we really do bleed out. You can probably guess where we're gonna respawn, don't you? Yep, at the 3rd ritual site. With 0 sanity, 1 hit away from death. Yep. Fortunately for us, there's only 1 native this time, so it's kinda easy. And would you look at that, I'm not resistant to learning after all. This time I grabbed the dry leaf before I tried to light the fire. Instead of just taking my time appreciating the scenery or whatever, we just speedrun it again. We don't take any stops, we don't waste any time, we don't fight anything for content. We just walk and run. As fast as we can, as close to the ritual site as possible. And we instantly find the village after a few seconds. It's super quick, no problem. No getting lost in the woods this time. And since you miss 100% of the opportunities you don't take, we jump down the cliff. Completely safe, no problem, don't get injured, and just shoot for the village. Of course, not before taking the necessary preparations and getting some sticks. And dry leaf. I'm getting a dry leaf.
Mia? Mia, where are you? Mia, say something.
What, you thought I'm serious? No, of course we don't have a dry leaf. Okay, finally. 4th and final ayahuasca drink. Man, what a journey it has been.
We're gonna miss them again.
Mia, where are you?
She asks us if we want to stay with her, and considering all the shit we've been through, just to get to her, I'm pretty sure our answer is like, why does she even ask? What? So, in typical Mia fashion, the only thing she does is ask a bunch of stupid shit and then disappear. Okay,
me what
let's
happened.
chase her this time, I guess. At least he seems more talkative.
You gave me back hope. I could eat without throwing up. Those were the best 6 months of my life. And you...
After
by
this
my
heartfelt
side.
thank
But
you
Jake,
message, we find a bottle of alcohol.
I
She's
feel-
an alcoholic. Oh god, now that all makes sense. The emotional outburst, the passive aggression, all those questions.
I live
Mia, honey, this isn't like you. Please, get a hold of yourself. You don't need the bottle needs you. For those interested, let me quickly summarize the lore of the cutscenes though. In this specific cutscene, Mia tells us that the cure we gave everybody and sold to millions of people was actually more like a potential cure. The side effect was that you're gonna die after a few months. There's no way around it, no saving, no nothing. So instead of having different people just naturally recover their sickness or whatever, we essentially killed, causing Jake to amass over like 120 million deaths by his own hands, because he took the mushroom from the camp, from the village, and brought it to the entirety of Brazil and a few more countries. And yes, that's also what was written on that one shield that we skipped past. That's why I wanted to skip past that. However, whether it comes from the insane trauma of having to cope with all of that, or from the pain of losing his wife, or from knowing that you cannot like repair that fuck up, Jake gets lost in a mental breakdown and completely loses his shit. Like, all those hallucinations, every single conversation with Mia, who's been dead for like eternity, by the way. The attempt to get saved at the radio where the guy said he already knew him. Yeah, do you know why he knew him? Because Jake has been
Understand.
there before. He has done that before. He's just repeating the same cycle over and over. What, you don't want to hear it from me? Okay. Hear it from Mia. Literally part of the plot.
Time went by. You were all alone. How long can you live with the deaths of millions on your conscience?
And as much as I appreciate all of this sentimental stuff,
Away.
the script says I have to make some jokes. So,
Start again.
what's that? Start again? Hey, that walkie-talkie looks exactly like the one I've been using. Where did you get that, Mia? Understanding the shitty situation Mia's in, we know there's only one way out. And to do that, we cannot get distracted. Oh, vending machine! Oh, do they have sparkly water? Sorry. Got a little bit distracted there. Let's go back to killing my wife.
Come.
Okay, change of plans.
I'm waiting for you.
What I always thought was super funny about this shot is you open the hospital doors of doom and despair.
Mia!
Very sad about your
At
wife,
last.
wanting to join in with her. You get
finally
greeted by this vision that just
Isn't that
looks like
what
the
you
devil
want?
himself.
What the fuck?
And to make all of this symbolism even worse,
Calm down.
she keeps spawning and disappearing every time you get close to her.
Nothing
And
else
every time she does, there's more villagers spawning in,
I swear.
staring at you, and whenever you turn around, they look at you again, just like those weeping angels.
Where I've been all along. Give up. How many times have you tried?
Stop it!
Man, watching those cutscenes back again, man, Jake definitely got packed. Holy shit, that man has been enjoying his marriage. Oh yeah, and while we keep walking around the whole time, we start hallucinating the angry voice that we always hear whenever we have low sanity.
She begged you for mercy, and you left her!
Turns out that really is ourselves. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Green Hell knife only. And occasionally a blowgun. And this one time, bone knife. I would say the run felt very doable, like even the natives weren't really a problem. We didn't kill any, but I killed some in another save. It was really easy. Wait, I'll show it on screen. Maybe I could have knocked out a crocodile if I had any darts left when I got to it. I'll show that on screen as well. And then maybe I could have fisted it too. I don't know, let's find out. I guess some things are better left unknown. And even though all the hallucinations weren't real, at least we know our suffering was real. Or was it? Wouldn't that be kind of a big plot twist? I'm going to release a big essay video on Greenham in like 1 or 2 weeks. I'm not sure. It's oh my god, this takes so long to edit. With all that being said and done, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked the video and see you next time for a video essay on why Green Hell is too realistic for its own good.